As high school students, we begin to start really feeling the pressure from teachers, our college counselors, and our parents about where we are going with our lives and what we want to do. For most of us, this is an extreme decision and we have absolutely no idea what direction we want to go in. I know for me, my parents and teachers always suggest jobs that have the highest income. But is money the only thing that can make people happy? Shouldn't we just be happy with the jobs we have? Over the summer, my family and I stayed in a place called Grayson Highlands State Park in Virginia. It was located on a mountain above a small town, if you could even call it a town. We thought that there was going to be a lot more to do than what appeared to be available once we were there. Really, all there was to do was hike and look for the majestic wild ponies, which were supposedly very hard to find. It took us 2 full days of hiking in the beautiful, cool weather on top of Grayson Mountain, scouring the ridges for the oh-so-evasive ponies. Anyway, by the 3rd day, we got extremely bored and decided to drive around the small town looking for something to do. In the tourist guidebook, we had seen something about a guitar shop, and since my father, my brother, and I all play guitar, we decided to look for it. Needless to say, we were a bit taken aback when the address turned out to be just a house surrounded by dozens of Christmas tree farms. We got out of the car anyway and knocked on the door, where none other than Mr. Wayne Henderson answers it. Mr. Henderson is a world-renowned guitar maker. He makes some of the finest and most expensive guitars in the world. His guitars sell for $20,000 or more. Mr. Henderson invited us into his workshop where he showed us all about making guitars. He then took us on a tour of his private collection of guitars, violins, banjos, mandolins, guns, and pocket knives. But the most valuable thing that Mr. Henderson gave us were his words. Mr. Henderson told us about this waiting list he has for his 100% handmade guitars. It is legitimately 10 years long. He has famous musicians like the members of the Zac Brown Band and Brad Paisley on that list. He told us how they keep offering him more money to get a guitar sooner, but he won't take it. Why? My parents asked. Because I love what I do. I love making guitars. I love how I feel when I make my guitars. No amount of money in the world is going to change how happy I am when I make them. The guitar makes me happy, not the money. My job, well, that is what makes me happy. I'm not doing it for the money. Heck, they could not pay me and I'd give them the guitar for free. I just love what I do and that's all I need. Mr. Henderson's words have stuck with me and I believe that they always will. When I used to think about what I want my job to be, I would research the highest paying jobs. I thought that money was the answer. If you have money, then you can have what you want. But then I realized, even if you have money and you have what you want, you can still not be happy. Money doesn't always equal happiness. True happiness, in my opinion, is rare. Parents work in a job that they hate so their children can go to school and work at a job that they hate so that their children can go to school and work at a job that they hate. It seems to be a never-ending cycle. It is just a waste of time. I think that in life, we aren't really taught to do what makes us happy. We are taught to do what makes us money so that our kids can have a good life and so that we can afford nicer things. But seeing Mr. Henderson talk about his guitars, you can tell that there wasn't 1 ounce of unhappiness in what he did. He loves what he does, and he wouldn't change anything. True, Mr. Henderson is a very rich and very special man. But it wasn't the money that made him happy. He did not live in a fancy house in an expensive country club community like he most definitely could have. He lives in a small town where the population is literally 7 people in a house surrounded by Christmas tree farms that he was born in, still without air conditioning. He didn't own a fancy car or anything else normal people with a ton of money would own. He owned something much more valuable: happiness. So now, whenever I think about growing up, or think about what job I want to have, I don't think about how much money I will make or not make. I think about if it will make me happy. Will I smile when I tell people what I do? Will I be able to think to myself in moments of my final breath that I've lived my life to the fullest potential? Will I be happy?